Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to Movie Files. Morgan and I are here to give you guys our thoughts of last night's episode of American Horror Story Cult. So let's just jump right into it. Before we get into the details of the episode, we do want to address that, last night's episode will probably be talked about for the rest of the season, as well as throughout probably the run of American Horror Story as a series. So last night obviously touched on some very sensitive topic because it was most recently happened, the mass shootings in Las Vegas. And last night's episode did involve a mass shooting during a rally, which I wanted to just address. FX and Ryan Murphy, I thought it was really nice of them and considerate as well as thoughtful to kind of have two versions of the episode, just addressing it right up top, letting people know that that this is what's going to take place in the episode, and we decided to edit the episode. But then again, for those that would be interested to see how the original version was, it is available on the FX app as well as on demand availability for those that have that service. So with that being said, we jump right into the episode where it shows it appears that Allie is responsible for doing this mass shooting, the assassination of Kai. And the camera pans over and you see Kai kind of leaned over or on the ground, assuming that he was shot and taken down. So I thought it was a pretty interesting episode, the start of an episode, because it kind of gives you the idea that we're going to get into something. We're going to see, did Allie just hit her breaking point? Is she fed up? Or, as American Horror Story does pretty well at times, is a misdirection. Obviously they give you this, and then you find out the what caused this effect, which we get into a little bit later in the episode. So with that being said, we then led into the moment where Meadow and Allie interact, where Meadow is at her front door or at her window and tells her that this is a cult. Her wife's involved and everyone that she's been interacting with so far is involved. Which I was glad they picked up with that, because we haven't seen Allie in a while. What was your thoughts of kind of picking up?
Yeah, same. I guess I had some anticipation for that moment in the aftermath of when Meadow hit the window and then, spoke with Allie and then was abruptly taken away. So definitely there was anticipation there. I was excited to see what the aftermath was.
Right. And then from there, the kind of the first 15, 20 minutes of the episode, we kind of get a little bit more of Meadow's explanation to Allie. Allie decides to take her to her restaurant instead of the police. Now I know she addresses, Meadow tells her that the police are involved, and right now we just know that one policeman is involved, which is Detective Samuels, Jack Samuels. So I still thought it was kind of odd that she decided to take her to a restaurant versus a police.
But expected, I think, too. Yeah.
And I mean, during those moments when they're in the restaurant, Meadow kind of gives Allie a little bit more information in regards to Kai's takeover and his plans and whatnot. And we actually get a flashback scene to, I believe it was December 16th of the previous year, kind of showing Meadows and Kai's relationship. That Meadow really does look up to Kai, and not just look up to him, but she's in love with Kai. He gives her everything that she's not getting from Harrison and things that she's not getting in life. So she really looks at him as kind of a savior and kind of the someone to believe in, as they mentioned many episodes. So we kind of get that backstory a little bit from Meadow and Kai, which I thought was kind of a nice touch. Because again, what they've been doing the last few weeks is kind of showing us, we have this crazy clown cult following, but we're getting little pieces of the people's background. Now, to me, still, I guess a negative, I still don't think the motivation is there for some of these characters to just decide to murder people, but that's TV for you. But anyway, what did you think about that kind of that montage they showed us with flashbacks?
With that, I think one thing that I kind of pieced together was because they've shown us a little bit of everyone's interaction with Kai at this point. Once this episode ends, I think the only thing that we really haven't been told is how the detective intertwines, and we're assuming it's probably more Harrison that has gotten him into this game. Right. I don't know, maybe we'll see more of a deeper connection with Kai, but we've seen him connect with his sister. We see him connect with Ivy in this episode, Meadow, the news reporter Beverly. So we've seen these little mini interactions, and it's almost like he's feeding them all the same BS, right? So in some way or form, Right. So he's telling Beverly more of his deepest, darkest secrets, and he shows himself to be very vulnerable to her, and then he connects with Meadow in a romantic way. So he's connecting with them all, kind of feeding them, you're important. You and I have this connection. that I don't have with the others. So to me, it is really showing that Kai really does not have any loyalty to any of these people,
right? Which I think is really key.
It is key. And you really see that with Meadow. I mean, for her, she makes a very rash decision and kind of like obeys him, and it really doesn't make sense for her, because we'll talk more about what happens to her in the end. But
right, and I think too, as you just pointed out, loyalty. There was throughout that kind of that flashback sequence, we see that Meadow again. She feels special with Kai's attention that he's given to her, but then we see when when Ivy is introduced to Kai officially, he's telling her the same
she's
thing.
Special,
yeah,
she's important, he needs her.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a bunch of BS. That these people still follow him. I mean, we see Harrison and the detective, be disloyal to Meadow in a scene for Kai. So he definitely has these people wrapped around his finger. That's
definitely,
for sure.
Definitely. So again, the first half kind of touches on Meadow's backstory, as well as kind of the reasoning why she's doing what she's doing. So that kind of leads into kind of the midway point of the episode, where we kind of get current times. We're back in current times, or before the incident happens of the mass shooting, but I believe it was dated April 3rd, and we see a kind of a town hall debate where Kai again is telling his voters in the town his thoughts, his beliefs, why they should vote for him, and obviously people are excited and rooting for him or what have you. But then we're actually introduced to Sally, as Sally just causes BS. She tells him that obviously he's creating fear, he's using tactics that our current president used to kind of get people to follow behind them and rally up behind them, and she just calls them out. And then
everyone rallies behind her immediately.
Yeah, I would say, so and she reveals,
this town is easily influenced.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this whole season is kind of showing the good and the bad of politics, and how easily we can get strung along with some of the things they say, and believing in things that they say that they don't end up doing. But anyway, it shows that Sally, she reveals that she's gonna go ahead and run against Kai, and obviously that Kai he can't have that. So obviously he's like, okay, yeah, we'll go along with this, but obviously he has plans for her later in the episode that we'll get into. So then that leads into another kind of a flashback sequence where we see Ivy and Winter kind of discussing. Ivy says that she saw, from a couple episodes ago when they voted, it was election night, she saw Gary voting, and obviously Gary, at that point in the storyline, Ivy and Winter don't know that he was released from his, the basement. They tied him up, and he cut his arm off to vote. So they're obviously kind of freaking out, and then it's kind of revealed in a kind of a half-assed way to me. It's revealed to us of Allie's motivation, or why she's doing all this to Allie. We get our reason. We finally find out why Allie is so important. It's because Ivy is obviously doing all this to her, and it's broken down in three ways. She's saying, that
Allie gives birth to Oz.
It was the trigger point was she gives birth to Oz, and
she breastfed him until he was 3. And she always threw that in Ivy's face. Ivy, she has some kind of disease or something along those lines where she can't have a child.
Right.
So she's been upset with Allie since the moment Oz was brought into this world, because she has thrown that in her face.
Right.
Although now it's interesting because with Oz being an older child, maybe 10 years old, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that.
He's definitely closer to Ivy versus Allie in the show. So you wonder why she has all that pent up anger, or why she just didn't leave Allie. And then apparently, really the tipping point was Allie has voted for Jill Stein. So
she said it was the trigger point was the baby incident, or the feeding.
And that's
her phobias.
She
said her phobias kind of got under her skin. And I guess we'll backtrack too. I guess in these moments, this is when her and Kai are doing their pinky.
And apparently, Kai can get any information out of anyone.
Yeah, when
immediately. You just lock pinkies, and he can get whatever he wants out of you.
Yeah, so I mean,
is a crock.
And again, where Ivy, those 3 reasons to me don't seem, and again,
terrorizing
these are characters, willing to do all this to just leave her, pointedly,
or talk about it. Communication.
Yeah, she has her going to Dr. Rudy, which we'll talk about a little bit more in the episode, but it's just like those 3 reasons just seem totally irrational and just kind of
petty.
Yeah, poorly written in my advice, her
same.
reasoning why. So we kind of get that, which then leads into Allie and Meadow. We pick back up with them, and again, her points, her checkpoints to take Meadow to the restaurant, bad idea. Then she takes her to Dr. Rudy.
Because mind you, she takes her to the restaurant after Meadow says, "Hey, your wife is a part of this cult."
So let's take her. She doesn't believe her too when she tells her that.
Yeah, but she still goes on to save her. So it's so stupid. Takes her to the restaurant, and then she goes to Dr. Rudy, even though after Allie was on the phone with Ivy when Meadow runs up to the window and is like, "Hey, your wife's a part of this cult." She hangs up on Ivy, immediately gets a call from Dr. Rudy, asks him, "Why are you calling me? Or who told you to call me?" "Oh, Ivy told me to call you." I don't know if I can trust her anymore, but let's trust you, Dr. Rudy. I mean, this woman, I wish we would have done a reaction video, because I just was like screaming at the screen, like, you are such an idiot.
Frustrating moments.
And then she leaves Meadow with like, why couldn't Meadow go with her? That was so silly.
Yeah,
like, Meadow could have gone with her.
So yeah, we see Allie drop off Meadow with Dr. Rudy, which then leads into Allie going to Sally's house. Again, Sally's the character we're introduced to, who's running against Kai now. So it's within the same day. So we see that Allie reveals all the things, the revelations she's learned, the secrets she's learned about the cult to what she knows so far from Meadow. And Sally is just like, okay, this is what you're getting. These are the facts. We'll just go ahead and do a press conference. We'll take them out. So she's down for the cause. She's ready to take out Kai. But then, obviously, in a good old-fashioned horror sense, you have the clowns come at perfect timing. They come in to Sally's house. Yeah. She has her gun,
like, lady,
and
they're gonna come from behind you.
Yeah, this is
like, let's stop playing games. And what does Allie do? Allie runs away.
Yeah,
doesn't call anyone. Locks herself into a bathroom. Can't stand her.
Yeah, I guess her cell phone is left with Meadow at Dr. Rudy's office. She couldn't call anyone, so she runs to the bathroom. And while this is going on, we have the clown posse of the cult. Let me stop calling count. That's the cult. We have have them interact with Sally. They take her gun. They take off the mask. Kai tells her, we're going to go ahead and take you out. But before we do that, he goes on her Facebook page, has a little speech there about, Facebook people, committing suicide. And of course, people are going to believe it because it's Facebook, which is kind of funny because it's true.
Yes, he did say
so
that.
Ultimately, they do kill Sally. They shoot her in the chest, making it look like a suicide again. And then we have a sequence where, Allie is in the bathroom and there's a particular cult member looking for her, which we would to believe that it's Ivy. She opens the door, sees Allie. Allie acknowledges, hey, it's Ivy. She knows her height. She probably knows her hands. She probably knows her body type. So she, it's obviously, it's Allie. Ivy. So Ivy decides to let her be. She closes the door. Kai says, let's go. They go. But again, kind of a weird scene because, again, they don't address.
It's like, oh, maybe Ivy and Allie.
The way the scene was shot, it looked like they would have clearly seen that
she was looking in the bathroom.
Well, not even that. Just the sequence where Allie runs away. Like, they didn't notice she was in the house.
Yeah, it really seemed like they would have seen her running because she wasn't that far behind.
Again, I know that when we'll just kind of backpedal a little bit. When Ivy and Kai talk, Kai suggests we'll just murder your wife, and Ivy says we're not going to do that. So their whole spin is we're going to make Ivy look crazy.
Yeah,
so we're going to make
she'll never get Oz because that was Ivy's
kind of redeeming.
She was just saying, if I ever left Allie, I could never get Oz. I would never get full custody.
Right.
So Kai's take is, let's make her look crazy.
So again, I guess that sequence, if they did see Allie, they weren't going to do anything to her anyway because they're not going to kill her. They just want to make her look crazy. So I guess we can brush that under her rug. So kind of wrapping up the episode here, kind of our final act. Allie decides to go back to Dr. Rudy's office to pick up Meadow, and then it's obviously revealed that Meadow has left.
Which you're thinking, okay, maybe he killed her or something.
Right. But
no,
again,
she left.
Yeah, and again we see Dr. Rudy pushing the fact that Allie should check herself into a mental institute, which she does, and she tells him to go. To go forget that narrative that he's telling her and just go on about your business, Dr. Rudy. I'm not going to the facility. So then that's where we're kind of brought back. It's kind of full circle. We see what kind of happens through the episode, and we're brought back to the scene where, the opening of the scene where Kai is shot, and it's revealed that it was Meadow that did the shooting, the mass shooting.
And then Meadow does kill herself at the end.
Well, yeah. So we'll go. So before that happens, it kind of shows Meadows' backstory again with Kai, that she's fed up. After it's revealed that Meadow heard Kai saying the same thing to Ivy's character, she approaches him and says, "You're nothing. Why are we believing in this guy?" And then Kai takes it upon himself to have his minions, Harrison and Detective Jack, tie her up. Put her in a room, and it's revealed that Kai tells him to get out of the way, and he just again feeds Meadow what she wants to hear. He tells her how important he is. They have sexual intercourse, and Kai really is now in her head. He's telling her what to do. You're gonna have to assassinate me. She said she can't do it, and so he tells her to shoot me in the leg, make it seem like again that it was part of his plan. So then it's all kind of pieces. By now you got the pieces of the puzzle. So it's then revealed that Meadow does kill herself after shooting Kai and doing this mass shooting. It was all part of his plan. And then it's revealed that again we saw the opening episode. She was Allie was holding a gun, but obviously she took the gun from Meadow after she killed herself, and then it's assumed that now Allie's going to be under
of course
arrest.
The cops show up right then and there,
which is interesting. I think it's going to be if you guys notice the sequence, there is a camera in the scene, so hopefully they can just look at the tape and see that it was Meadow that killed everyone and shot herself. So
but that was probably won't be. Probably she'll go to Crazy Town.
We'll see. So at the end of the episode we see Kai, obviously his plan worked out, he's smiling, he's going to be okay. So that was the episode. So what were your thoughts on the episode overall?
Like in the beginning, I was excited because it really did. It picked up in a place where Allie was in her house and Meadow was at the window, and that was like 2 episodes ago. So I was ready to see the aftermath of that. And then kind of like in the middle, I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna be good. And then towards like 3/4 to that finish line, I was just like, it was just frustrating to watch, honestly. I don't know, for me it's hard to watch people do all the things that I think I wouldn't do in a situation like that. But Allie is just so stupid. Like it just is frustrating.
I wouldn't even say, she's making very
bad decisions in my mind.
I think what you're getting at is just character development. I think at this point in time, I can speak for myself, and I don't know if you agree, but I just don't care about the characters as far as feeling bad for them, especially Allie. We haven't seen any redeeming factors like,
she's
remember that scene?
Bad choices.
It's like she leaves. She talks about Ozzy. They both talk about Ozzy so much, but when Ivy's out killing, where's Oz being? He's just being left in the hotel, and the same goes for Allie. I mean, when she was being attacked by the clowns, by the cult, she would leave Oz in the room. So I mean, to me, it's just like there's no redeeming factors for either one of these mothers and either of the characters. Like I think Kai is probably the most interesting character, and that's about it. Honestly, I think that's where the disconnect is.
Yeah, and this also with Dr. Rudy, I am interested, and I wonder if they'll end up revealing this towards the end. Is Dr. Rudy more of the
mastermind behind everything? Yeah.
Is he more of the puppet master? Or, do these other folks even know about Dr. Rudy that are a part of the cult? It doesn't seem like they really do. We haven't seen them all together. We've just seen Kai and Dr. Rudy together. And then obviously we know Allie and Ivy know him. But, obviously they're getting their information from somewhere. Now we've kind of connected the dots. Okay, Ivy's a part of it. So that's how Allie is intertwined. But then you have that couple who they were put in the coffins and were talking to Dr. Rudy. So you assume, but I don't know. It's interesting because Kai is definitely, he's feeding everyone a line to get their trust, and then he basically like backstabs them. And it almost has me wondering, this story that he told Beverly about his parents, is that even true?
I don't think it is, and that's something I want to bring up here. I think to your point, I think I don't know that Dr. Rudy is probably the mastermind behind everything. I think it's going to be revealed that he's kind of, because again, if you look at Kai's action, I mean, your parents died, but then just to have that trigger, just to become this mastermind, it's something I think it's going to be revealed that Dr. Rudy has been in Kai's ear since birth, or since he was a child, and just always kind of manipulating him and getting him to do things that he wants to get done. He's kind of his pawn, So I think it will be revealed that Dr. Rudy is the mastermind behind everything. And they kind of show next week's predictions. We'll kind of go into that. And they show us some clips of next week, which we get new members. Leadham Dunham, I think, is going to be in the episode.
And it's like, why are we bringing more people into this mess? This is where I just feel like they really do a bad
they lose
job.
A hand on what
and like usually, like the past, what episode number are we on?
We're on episode 6.
Okay, so the past 5 episodes, you know how at the very end you're like, oh my gosh, how did an hour go by so quickly? And then you're like, I can't wait to see what's happening next week. Like, I've had that little bit of excitement. Like, okay, I need to see, a little trailer, sneak preview of what's happening next week. This episode, I did not even care. I'm like, I didn't care. And then when I saw the preview, I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, they're introducing new characters.
So it just seems like it's going to be a mess. And again, to Elliot's point of character development, if we can't even develop the characters we have on board right now, why bring more people into the mix? It just... I feel like American Horror Story, they do this season after season, and sometimes I don't know why they're even still making seasons, to be completely honest.
Well, I think the biggest thing about this season, and I think what's keeping me interested in it, is obviously I want to see what the grand scheme, how it plays out.
Obviously I'll continue to watch it, but
the themes of the story,
they fall short in a lot of ways, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the theme of this season is really the big catch. Is obviously we got this president in office who kind of does similar things, minus the mass murderings from a cult perspective. But he's doing a lot of things that Kai has kind of done, which is creating fears and everything. So there is some redeeming factors of the season. Yeah. And I mean, we got 4 more episodes, 5 more episodes or so. So hopefully they'll get back to things.
I don't think that they will. I totally understand where you're coming from in that. I think that it could have been a good story, but they executed it poorly, in my opinion. So I'm the kind of person, though, once I start something, usually I just need to finish it. But I don't know. I just think they've lost their way. They don't. Yeah. I don't think that they have direction really on where they're going. They just kind of go everywhere. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next episode.
Yeah. So I think overall thoughts. The episode was okay. Again, I really commend them for what they did at the beginning of the episode, kind of addressing what we had to see that episode. So, but I thought that the episode had some highs and some lows. But again, we'll see what next week has to offer to us. So, again, we want to know what you guys thought. What did you think about the episode? What did you think about some of the reveals?
Are you with me? Do you think it just sucks, or are you with Elliot and think, all right, maybe they'll be able to turn this ship around?
Let us know what you guys think. And again, we love you guys' input. So thanks for watching this episode of our review for American Horror Story, and we look forward to seeing you guys back next week with episode 7, as well as just subscribing to our channel. Check out some more videos that we have for you guys, movie reviews, more of American Horror Story. We got some TV shows that we got coming up in the next few weeks that we'll be reviewing, so we were excited about that. And also follow our Instagram account at Movie Files. And again, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.